here today, so I might just skip the briefing video. And because there are 12 drivers today, it will be one group. So we'll finish nice and early for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll put the lineup straight on the screen. Let me just double check though first. Is there any new people here today, or is the list wrong? Everyone's raced at least once before. Yes. Okay, so the lineup will come up on the screen and we'll head straight into the practice. And since there's one group, we'll give you an extra couple of minutes in the practice session. Okay, so line up on the board. Andre Fish in number 1, Josh number 2, Essa Al-Hamadi in 3, Nathan Pope in number 4, Leonard Faddy in 5, Lucas in number 6, 7 and 8 are empty with Hamza in 9, Emil Nasser in sim 10, Thomas in sim 11, Alex in sim 12, Nick in sim 13, and Andre in sim 14. The usual couple of minutes left of practice. We've got some new cars out there today, a couple of Kick Salvas, a couple of Williams, a Racing Bulls, some Ferraris, a Red Bull, one Aston Martin. Still no Haas. That tends to be the least favourite car, which is interesting. If I was to drive, I think I'd pick the Haas. Mercedes also. There's no Mercedes out there today. Alina normally drives in the Mercedes. I feel like I'm forgetting a team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, thank you, sir. No, I'll take it. It's okay. Thank you. Oh, this is really bad of me. I think I've genuinely forgotten one Formula 1 team. 9. So let's go through everybody. Red Bull. Oh, McLaren. Of course, there's no McLarens up there. Only the fastest team on the grid this year. Championship leader Oscar Piastri, followed by Lando Norris in second place. That took me way too long to realise who I was forgetting there. We've got Ferrari 1-2 at the moment with Essa Al Hamadi doing the fastest out lap. Swiftly taken away by the fastest timed lap by Leonard Faddy, a 16.3. Going straight on the pace, no warm-up needed. Nice to see Nathan Pope return as well. Emil Nasser goes up into third. I must say, that is a very impressive benchmark from Leo Faddy in the 5-minute practice, to be honest. It does mean that when the 15-minute qualifying begins, he is going to be straight on the pace. He's set the benchmark immediately. So far, Lucas, Hamza, Alex, Josh and Andre, no time on the board in the 5-minute practice, just getting comfortable. Warming themselves up. It's a tricky circuit, Hungarian. Not too narrow, but it's also not too wide in terms of overtaking, but the corners come up thick and fast. So it is a difficult track to overtake on as Josh goes second fastest then in the Racing Bulls. 1 second off of Leo Faddy's time, but it is only practice. So who's going to come out on top as it ticks over into qualifying? We'll be back on there very shortly. Qualifying begins, and one of the Kick Salvas finds track limits very, very quickly, and it's not Thomas, which means that is probably Andre. Yeah, Andre P straight on the grass and around. That's Nick in the Aston Martin, flying through the chicane on his outlap, and this is the tricky part, this S section here, which isn't flat out until you get to the second half of it. But before that, it's also very high speed. Oh, it goes very wide there, does Nick. But it is a lift in fourth gear for both the first two S's, and then flat out in the next ones. Don't worry about the teams on the left-hand side of your screen. They will change. Once everybody crosses the line, that will adjust to the correct names. But I promise you it is Nick in the Aston Martin and Leonard Faddy in the Ferrari as he comes to cross the line and start his lap. So Nick staying well within the track limits that time after going way off on his outlap, but look who's behind him. Leo Faddy's closed up enough to probably get a tow on some of this lap. What's his first lap time going to be? It's in the 17s, I think. 17.7 for Nick. Oh, 17.0 for Essa Al Hamadi. Straight out the gate then on his first lap. Nick D, 0.6 behind. Leonard Faddy not getting it done on his first lap this time. He's got plenty of time to change this as your championship leader. 12 minutes remain. Hamza Zaid up into P4 in the Red Bull. Andre Fisch is currently in third. Thomas in the Kick Sauber up into fifth place. Leonard Faddy going down the order. Nathan Pope also a poor first lap, as well as Josh as well. So big mistakes on their first runs. And what will their second run do? I'm surprised Nick hasn't moved over, because Leo needs no invitation to gain slipstream and some extra tenths of a second. But he is well within the toe of the Aston Martin here. Lucas up into third in the Williams, 1.9 seconds back. But at the moment it's last time out at Spa, first and second placeholders. Oh, big slide from Leo there on the exit of the second to last corner. That's going to cost him time then. It'll be a 16 still. A 16.5, so even with that slide, he goes half a second quicker. And Nathan up into the top of the times then with a 16.3 in the Red Bull. So Nathan Pope up to the top, just 2 tenths quicker than Leo. That probably would have been around the amount of time that he lost in that little slide that he had on the exit of the second to last corner. Nick just a little bit off in third, with Essa now only right behind the Aston Martin there in fourth, and then a second back as Josh in fifth, just ahead of Andre Fisch. Lucas in seventh, Hamza eighth, Thomas in ninth, and Andre in 10th, with the Kick Saubers rounded off your top 10. Alex yet to set a time, and Emil also yet to set a time, keeping it in the limits. And there he goes then, Leo Faddy. Tidied up that final turn, found the extra couple of tenths and goes on pole by 1/10 of a second. Emil Nasser gets a valid lap in and shoots up into P6, right behind Josh in the Racing Bulls. And will Alex set a valid time this time? He does. He goes up into 10th and demotes the Kick Saubers into 11th and 12th then. Oh, one of the Ferraris on the exit of the final turn there, getting it a little bit wrong as he spun round into the wall. I think that might have been Essa Al Hamadi. Might have been on a flyer though. It's quite tight at the top. 0.3 of a second separate your top three. And that is reasonably fast pace as well at the bottom end of the 16s. I can tell you that 1:15 is possible, 1:15.9, 1:15.8 even, if you can get the lap together in these cars on this tricky circuit. But Andre Fisch then holding on to 5th. Lucas about to cross the line, did a 1:18.2. He holds on to 8th, but he's not far behind the 2 cars in front. It's only a 2/10 gap. As we see Andre shoot up into P10 then. Wiggling across the line with excitement. As he out-qualifies Thomas and Alex, but there's 7 minutes remaining. We get another lap in around the Hungaroring for round. I see now I've definitely lost count of the rounds. You know what round we are? No, not. I know. Thank you for that. From my holiday in the UK, is that's what happened. I think it's round 15 or 16. Oh, look at that for a lap time there. Nick digs deep and finds a 1:16.200, just 3 thousandths quicker than Leonard Faddy with 5 minutes remaining of qualifying. Nathan Pope 1/10 behind. The top 3 separated by 0.1 seconds. And Nick was very, very close to getting pole last time out at Spa. And Leo got it within the last 60 seconds of qualifying. Are we going to see a repeat, or will Nick get his first pole position today at the Hungaroring? We're back. Run. Run, run. Quickly, get the drink. So we've got 1 minute 20 left and Nathan has found some time. So the red ball currently shoots up to the top of the times and it gets ever closer between your top three. Nathan Pope then, currently on pole position with a 1:16.1. Nick D, 1:16.2 in second place. And Leo Faddy, a championship leader, only 3 thousandths down off of Nick's time in third place. But not a terrible place to start from, as he'll get a nice toe down into turn one and probably very confident on the brakes. Alex K down in 12th place in the Williams. Thomas in 11th in the Kick Sauber, and Andre still holds on to your P10. Hamza in the Red Bull P9. Emil Nasser a little bit of a distance ahead. He's in P8, just 2/10 off of Lucas's time in the other Williams. It'll be close between those two. They've had a good race before, actually, those two. Very, very close and fair racing between the two of them for pretty much a whole race, I think it was. Andre just a couple of tenths ahead in P6 with Josh in P5. Essa Al-Hamadi holds on to P4 with 2 seconds left, and the checkered flag is going to come out then, so qualifying is about to come to a close. This is the final lap, and I think Leo Faddy is currently half a second down, so unless he can find 8/10 in the final sector, I think this might be it then. We're going to see a change in the order here at qualifying for the Hungaroring, the VRS. We're on board with Leo Faddy. He's currently half a second down, I think. Emil Nasser crosses the line, does improve, gets closer to Andre Fisch. Now it's less than a tenth between them. Here comes Leo in the Ferrari then, round the final turn. Nice and smooth through there, doesn't lose the rear, but I think it's going to be Nathan Pope in pole position as Nick crosses the line with a 1:17.8. He doesn't improve. Leo does a 1:66, and Nathan goes faster yet again. He extends the gap then, does a 1:16.0. And it's Nathan Pope starting on pole position today. Essa Al-Hamadi in 4th, Josh in 5th, Andre 6th, Emil Nasser, Lucas, Hamza, Andre Thomas, and Alex then rounding off your field. Nathan celebrates by crashing into the wall at high speed, spinning around 3 times, and parks it up. This is called what, sir?
Competition.
Competition, because of how close it is. Less than or about a tenth of a second now that Nathan Pope improved his time on that last run. There's going to be a quick break whilst we rearrange the order and we get ready for the grid between 5 and 10 minutes, and we'll get you back in the cars. Okay, race lineup is on the screens there. Nathan Pope on pole position with Nick in second place, just 1/10 behind. And 3 thousandths behind Nick is Leonard Faddy in third place. Essa Hamadi in fourth with Josh, Andre, Emil and Lucas also quite close together in fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth. Hamza in P9 with Andre in P10. Thomas and Alex rounding off the field in the Kick Sauber and the Williams. Okay then, practice is over, qualifying is over, and we've got Nathan Pope back on pole, and it is race time for round 14 of the VRS at the Hungarian. As the cars all go to the grid, waiting for the lights to come on. Okay then, lap 1 of 14. It's 14 laps around this track. Surprisingly short lap because of all the high-speed corners. And it's Nathan Pope on the front row in the Aston. In the Red Bull, sorry, with Nick next to him in the Aston. Away they go, and Nick gets off to a slow start, but it's a fairly even start then with Nathan and Leo going down. So Leo straight up into second place. And look at Josh in the RB around the outside of Nick in the Red Bull. Oh, down the inside. Leo Faddy then on Nathan Pope, who gets a better exit, uses the green stuff, which is technically still within the limit. The concrete is not, but Leo around the outside of turn 3, and Nick in the Aston Martin comes through. And Nick takes the lead from Nathan Pope, and Leo Faddy's down the order in turn 4, but Nathan is now going to look down the inside of the fast left at the top of the hill. That's a dangerous place. And Josh in the RB goes through into P3, and Nathan's off in the Red Bull. He's broke too late, and Josh is into P2 with the Ferraris round in the background. Oh, Essa Al-Hamadi jumps down the order, Nick cuts across the chicane, and Josh now holds on to P2, and Nathan is still in P3. Gonna have a quick look at the Aston cutting the chicane, because I think he might have to give that time back. Nick gaining an advantage there on the first lap, but Nathan's still in third then, and Emil Nasser has had a cracking start as well, up into fourth place with Lucas in P5, Andre in P6, and Leonard Faddy down into P7 then, as a result of the hard wheel-to-wheel racing at the start of the race. As there's a car there on the main straight. Okay, so back to it then as Nathan tries hunting down Josh, who's up into P2. He always manages to have some good racecraft at the start as Nathan runs a little bit wide there, trying to get the run down into the third to last corner. And Nick is fairly comfortable now in P1 as Josh is going to now try and defend from one of last year's title contenders here in the Red Bull, who's going to try and get a switch back. This is a smart drive in from Nathan here, who should have the DRS as they go now down towards turn 1. He does have the rear wing open. This pass will be done way before the braking zone, and Nathan Pope back up into second place can now continue his charge 1/10 at a time to Nick D in the Aston Martin up the road. Lucas in P4. Oh, Josh having a little look into this corner then in the RB as he tries to get a good exit now down through 4, up the hill into 6, the fast left-hander at the top of the hill then. And here's Leonard Faddy. Oh, this is a dangerous place to look at. He gets cut across there by Andre Fisch. Not sure this move would have worked around the outside of the fast right. There's a Ferrari off up ahead. That's Emil Nasser. Andre Fisch down the inside towards the chicane. Oh, cuts across Emil's nose. That will likely be a 5-second penalty as Emil goes off the track. There was no need for that. And Leonard Faddy also gains a position as a result. So I don't think it was it Emil or was it Essa? Because I think Essa's also got through as a result of that. As Andre Fisch cut across. So Leonard Faddy off the track limits there. Track limits were definitely being watched at this point. This could have an effect on the race after the race. We don't want to do that again. We've had that before where so many track limits has affected the after race result as Nathan sets the fastest time as he hunts down Nick in the Aston Martin up the road. But Andre Fisch then holding on to P5 as Leonard goes around the outside, late on the brakes. Can he get it turned in? Swoops into the corner but runs a little bit wide on exit. And I think Andre Fisch is going to get the run. He has done, but look who's got DRS. It is still Leonard Faddy behind. In towards turn 3 they go. Can he get the left-hand side? I don't think he can. Essa Al Hamadi is waiting for an opportunity here to fight with the two Ferraris in front of him as Nathan now closes up to within a second. Into the fast left they go. Andre Fisch running wide as well on the track limits there. Up the road, up the hill they go. Into the right-hander, into the left, into the chicane. Now through the S's. This is the tough part of the track, especially in the dirty air. Nathan now within 7/10, but these guys are all pretty close. 3 people all together. The 4 Ferraris together on track. Andre, Leo, Essa, Emil. Thomas gets past Alex there at the back. And now Nathan Pope is within DRS range, or he was within DRS range, and he sets another fastest lap, a 1:16.3. And watch the rear wings open. Here's Nathan Pope then. 4/10 of a gap now. The DRS will open here. Down towards turn 3. So we're on board with the Red Bull driver. Late on the brakes. Locks up, gets it turned in. Straight back on the power. Down the hill. Flat out through the right. And the Aston Martin is being reeled in. Now this is the tricky corner. Watch this. Are they both going to go off or are they going to stay within track limits? They both stay within track limits by using that curve. But this is where the Red Bull went off earlier. Into that right-hander, down towards the chicane now. Try and avoid both of these sausage curves as best you can. Actually, Nathan rides them both, but he didn't lose the rear, so he's quite smooth through there. And then through the S's. This is where you can lose a little bit of traction on the rear as you come through this fast left, flat out right. The dirty air is going to have a little bit of an effect here, but he keeps 2 wheels on the curb, no problem. Late on the brakes into the right-hander. Gets it turned in, straight back on the power as he now tries to close back in into the final 2 corners. It's a late turn in, a late apex for Nathan to get a better exit than Nick in the Aston Martin into the final turn, and this is faster than people expect in 3rd or 4th gear. DRS open again down the main straight, and could this be the opportunity he's waiting for? DRS open down towards turn 1. Nick defends, late on the brakes again. Nathan Pope gets it turned in. Can he get a switchback? Not this time. They both get a reasonably steady exit as Andre Fisch is still holding on to P5 as well, and Nathan has a look round the outside of 3 into the left. Down the hill they go, and I think he's going to have to wait for another lap as Leonard Faddy closes in to within a 1/10 of a second on Andre Fisch, and they're side by side. Oh, Andre Fisch gets run a little bit wide from the contact there, and he spins and around he goes. Leonard Faddy there, aggressive down the inside on the other Ferrari, and gets up into P5, so now he can continue to try and hunt the drivers ahead. Essa Al Hamadi then in P6, still just behind. Andre Fisch holding on to 7th, and Emil Nasser is actually only 2/10 behind Andre now, or half a second behind, but he can now try and close back in and continue that race. Hamza is holding on to P9 in the Red Bull, with Alex in the Williams in P10. He's up a position, but Nathan Pope still hunting down a victory here. I think it might be the first victory of this season. My memory is not good enough for me to remember if he has won this season yet. But not obviously competed in as many races as he did last year just yet. But here he goes again, late on the brakes. Can he get a better exit? He's got a very smooth exit here. And actually, I think he just hump drafts Nick down towards turn 3. Nowhere, nothing doing through there then into 3, down into 4, flat out through here. This is where Nathan tends to thrive. We've seen many races last year like this, where he was chasing down Moeen Siraj. He was on his tail for pretty much a whole race. Oh, Nick! Oh, he's touched the grass and he's spun. The Aston Martin is round and nearly collects the Red Bull driver. Oh no, the Aston Martin dips a wheel in the grass. And around he goes, and Josh is now within a second and a half, and Nathan Pope goes through 3 seconds in the lead. And funnily enough, we were talking about where Nathan thrives. It's chasing down people and putting pressure on. There is one place where Nathan thrives even more, and that is with a couple of seconds of lead, and he can just casually now try and bring it home. But they're only halfway through the race. This season, we have seen him make more mistakes than last season. But now all he has to do is focus and bring it back. He's got a 2-second lead from the Aston Martin, and he has been the quickest on track for most of this race. Now Nick trying to hold on to second place is his aim, or catching first as well. Josh is holding steady in P3, which is done very well considering he qualified P5 or 6. And in terms of pace, was not strong enough really to pass the Ferraris that were ahead of him in qualifying, but through consistency and avoiding chaos, Josh and Lucas have found themselves in P3 and 4, but Leo Faddy has unleashed. He's in P5, he's 3.6 seconds back. He's got a few laps to try and catch up to Lucas there in the Williams. We're on lap 8 of 14, and the gap only actually 1.5 seconds there from Nathan and Nick, as it starts to fluctuate depending on what part of the track they're on. And actually, I think your leaders will probably catch up to the Kick Saubers, so it's not over. There are definitely factors in this race that have not finished. Actually, I think most people have passed the first of the Kick Saubers. They're on the main straight at the moment, so your top 3 have passed Andre P in the Kick Sauber in 12th place. The 11th place and 10th place are fairly close together as Andre goes to go down the inside. Late reactions there from both of them really, actually, as Essa moved across and Andre went to send it. He committed too late. Oh, a little bit of a loss of the rear for Essa Al Hamadi there as he goes deep into 3, but he's got the inside for 4. Oh, it was close through there, and I think Andre Fisch is going to keep that position as he moves up into 6th place. Then the next left is not an overtaking opportunity. Runs a little bit wide as Essa deeper on the brakes into this right-hander, up the hill and towards the chicane. Again, not really an overtaking zone, but look who's caught up to both of them. It's Emil Nasser in the Ferrari then, down into the S's now. Who out of these 3 Ferraris can be the most consistent for the second half of this race? Because whoever it is, whoever loses the rear the least and stays on track the most, will come out on in this little 3-way fight for 6th place. Hamza 21 seconds behind in P9. He's in a world of his own actually, and no threat from behind but also no threat in front. And Alex Kay and Thomas reasonably close on the circuit as they head up into the middle part of the track in sector 2. Nick actually looks like he's closing in on Nathan here, and that's quite a big gain, so I reckon Nathan has made a mistake somewhere, because there was a 2.5 second gap and now he's within a second. So Nathan has made a mistake as Essa now tries to look around the outside of turn 3. Andre has to be careful here. He's driving like Dubai Kartdrome style in terms of leaving room, and I think he's already in danger of a penalty from his race with Emil Nasser earlier anyway. Into the right-hander they go. And up the hill. We've seen Essa have many fights. He does give a lot of room and respect in the most cases, and Nick again within a second. Oh, Essa Al Hamadi on the curb, slides round, and that was the consistency. You know what that means. Emil Nasser gets promoted up into 7th place. And now will Andre Fisch make a mistake? Leo Faddy is closed in on Lucas. He's now within half a second with 3 laps to go. And actually, Nick is going faster than Nathan by a couple of tenths a lap. So, where has he found that time in the Aston Martin? Here we are on board. into turn 3. Leonard Faddy also close to the Williams. We've got two very close fights here. One for 4th place and one for the lead. As Faddy, late on the brakes into 3, gets a good exit to chase down the Williams. You've got Josh also only 1.5 seconds up the road from this, so a podium is not out of the question. But Nick here, 3/10 behind Nathan Pope into the S's with 3 laps to go. Where did he catch that gap? Nathan losing the rear there, that's not going to help. This is going to create an opportunity, but Nick goes all the way off the circuit and loses time as a result. Down into the brakes of this right-hander, late on the brakes is Nick in the Aston. Into the left-hander again. Takes a nice tight line there, does Nick. Into the second to last corner, now into the right-hander. Nathan really opening up to maximise his exit, and look at the exit he gets compared to the green machine down towards turn 1, but it's not going to help when DRS is open into the braking zone. He goes, gets very close again, goes deep by a minute and a half, by a metre and a half, not a minute and a half, and into the next corner. Over to the right, into the left-hander. Really, really close between these two, and I think there's some traffic just up the road. There's 2 laps left, and they are catching 11th and 10th place. Leo has still not passed the Williams, and actually they're both closing in on the RB of Josh in P3. They probably are hoping that this race is finished if they're in the top 3 already. And now Nathan's going to get held up, I think, a little bit. Oh no, the kick salver of Thomas moves right out the way, and it's not often that we see a back marker do that in such a, how can I word this, but there's a dangerous one with the Williams. Oh, that could have been an opportunity for Nick. I think he's going to have a look anyway as Nathan defends it, covers it off nicely. So the Williams of Alex actually ends up, I think, spinning as a result. Oh, there's contact there with Nick and the Red Bull, but Nathan holds it around the outside. Into the final corner he goes, and the battle continues as Nathan parks it on the apex, gets a little bit of a push, but the DRS is going to go to the Aston Martin, now down towards turn 1 as Nick tries to commit to the inside. Nathan moves a little bit late, and there was contact there. Down in towards the first corner they go. Nick has the inside, but Nathan holds it around the outside and gets a little bit of a wiggle on around the grass. So Nick fighting hard there for his first victory as well, I believe. Down the hill then into the right-hander. And 3rd, 4th and 5th are also in the same order. We're on lap 13 of 14, and Nick goes very wide there. I told you that track limits is being watched here. Well, now that it's all in the top 3 results, might have to have all the stewarding being done after this race, so there might be a pause before the podium, but it's a good thing there's only one split. And hopefully we can get that done nice and quickly to get through to the podium after this race. We always hate it being decided by penalties, but I have seen quite a few people go off on some of the corners, and there has been some contacts that of course people are going to want to be seen, whoever they're supporting. And again the kick salver moves nicely out the way. Leo late and hard on the brakes there as he chases down the Williams of Lucas, who is chasing down the RB of Josh. It's going to be a freeway fight for 3rd place. This is going to be chaos on the last lap as Nick crosses the line. We are on the final lap of the Hungarian, and Nathan is going around the outside with DRS, but he's off the circuit there, and he's trying to get the run down towards turn 3. And I think he's going to, Nick around the outside. He's going to have the inside for 4. Now down the hill towards, there's another car there. That's one of the kick salvers as they go towards the fast left. And he does move out the way. I think that was Andre again. And Nick slides it into this next corner. And Leo Faddy did get past Lucas in all of that. And now the RB. Oh, that's not a place you want to go down the inside. That was a poor move from Leo there on that corner. You do not overtake into that flat out left. And Josh and Leo slide round. But who's going to come out in the correct order? I think Lucas is going to collect a podium after all of that. And the Williams goes up into P3. And now Nathan right behind, and they come into the second to last corner then. This is the final lap. The Aston Martin round into the left. Nathan Pope behind into the final corner. They'll all be coming up to see me afterwards, I imagine, to find out what's happening with the time penalties, but they cross the line then. Nick in first place on track. Nathan half a second behind, and Lucas in the Williams. A round of applause for that man who collects the pieces in P3, 15 seconds behind. And Josh, I think, is going to finish in P4 with Leo Faddy bringing home a P5. Emil Nasser is going to come up in P6 with Essa Al Hamadi right behind him. Oh, that checkered flag came out just at the right time. Essa was definitely in a position to pass with DRS, but Emil holds on. Andre Fish, Hamza, Thomas, Alex and Andre rounding off the field. You'll have to bear with us for the podium. Bear with us, bear with me. As you know from watching the race on the screen, I've got a few on boards to watch, and then we'll get to the podium as soon as I can. Okay guys, 5 more minutes. Okay, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. We can go to the podium. We'll find out the results. We'll find out. Let's go to the podium. Let's get these trophies. We'll leave you in suspense, Nick, to find out which one. Apologies, everybody, for taking so long, but there's a lot at stake here in terms of both drivers going for their first win this season. Let's start off with third. Third was less trouble and very easy to give a round of applause to. He collected up some positions at the end. A round of applause, please, for Lucas in the Williams. You're welcome. Well done. If you want to jump up on that step. And then the reason we were all waiting so long to find out who got the penalty or if there was a penalty, I can tell you that it came down in the end to counting exactly how many times both first and second extended the track or went out of track limits, watching their whole race twice. And I can tell you that both drivers extended 5 times major and 9 times minor. Exactly the same amount of times throughout the whole race, which means the results stand. In second place, a round of applause for Nathan Pope. And taking his first win, finally, a round of applause for Nick D in the Aston Martin.
Thank you very much. Yeah?
You're welcome. Oh. And then, oh, look who's got the confetti cannon again. Here he goes, Andre in the kick salver. Give a round of applause to your final podium. Is he going to be able to get it done this time? Come on, Andre. Is it another? Hey! There we go. Well done, guys. Don't forget your fuel picture. All right, Josh, you nearly got there.